Now, local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
President Joe Biden visiting the Triangle tonight with renewed focus on getting more North Carolina adults vaccinated against coronavirus.
Plus, state lawmakers take action to end extra federal unemployment benefits, but will it really get more people to return to work?
And a local school district is set to take up a controversial issue that could change the way educators deal with race in the classroom. CBS 17 News starts now. President Joe Biden returns to the Triangle to talk about the importance of getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Good evening. I'm Angela Taylor.
I'm Rod Carter. So glad you could join us tonight. The president just wrapped up his speech a moment ago. He spoke for about 24 minutes today talking about vaccination efforts here in North Carolina, encouraging people to go out and get vaccinated if they haven't done so already.
Yeah, especially encouraging those young adults to get vaccinated against the coronavirus. Now, upon arrival, the president was brought here to the Green Road Community Center for a tour of a mobile vaccination clinic. The president says it is crucial for everyone to get a shot, especially with the threat of dangerous variants of the virus. We heard President Biden talking about that Delta variant. He says North Carolina is, though, moving in the right direction.
We have to look out for one another. We really do. And what you're doing here, go back to the United States, nonprofits directing folks to where to go, houses of worship opening on-site vaccination for congregants. My friend Reverend Barber is here, as I said, had countless faith leaders who are truly doing God's work. College students providing rides for seniors. It's what's happening in America. It's what America is all about. That's what the rest of the world is looking at. Are we what we advertise ourselves to be? Because of people like you here in Raleigh and communities across America that are going to win this fight. Look at the progress we made so far.
Yeah. And right now, only 16 states have reached the president's vaccination goal. All right, our digital reporter Jody McCrary joins us now outside at the Green Road Community Center. You were actually inside to hear the speech. It just wrapped up. You ran over here. Tell me, what did you take from what he had to say?
I think the big takeaway was his goal was to empower the people that were in attendance. They know about the vaccine. They know that it's important. They were the frontline people. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks from Duke, Wake Med, UNC Health. But he wanted them to spread the word to the folks who might be hesitant or reluctant to get it, to get the domino effect started, to get folks getting back on the horse to get vaccinated and get the numbers back up in North Carolina.
He was definitely praising our local leaders here.
Yes, he was. He had a lot of strong words for Governor Cooper, for Dr. Cohen, and the health leaders that we've had in our area who've been trying to get those numbers up. We've been in the bottom quarter of the country when it comes to adults getting their first shot nationally, but the effort is to push those numbers back up with coming to a place like this to spark those efforts, to get the conversation going again, to get it back to front of mind.
And he also talked about those marginalized communities and how we really need to reach out and make sure people that don't typically have access to medical care are getting the vaccine.
Yes, a very critical point, because there's a reason they chose this community center for the president's speech. In this neighborhood, I spent the morning researching this. The neighborhood here is about 80% minority, and the vaccine rates here have been pretty low. So coming here was a strategic move to get Black, Latino, other marginalized communities back to getting vaccinated, to get the numbers up.
And I'll say this as we quickly wrap up, Jody. It was probably neat for those that were here to get the vaccine to get to meet or at least see the president in person.
A very cool perk of the process. Get a life-saving vaccine and meet the leader of the free world.
Yep. All right, Jody, thank you. We always appreciate your time. Now, the president being here today, of course, could impact your drive tonight.
Yeah, it certainly can. We certainly know that the roads will cram up and get jammed up when things are going on. Right now, look at our live drive. It's not that bad along I-440, 440 Beltline. Steve Spracia, though, is keeping a very close eye on things in our mobile news tracker. Steve, how's it looking where you are right now?
We're at Old Wake Forest Road right now, and Ron, I want to show you something. This is a couple of Raleigh police cruisers. We talked about this a bit earlier. They have now blocked off Old Wake Forest Road near Capitol Boulevard, and if we move the camera in the direction of Capitol Boulevard, you see there's about a half a block of no traffic there. And then once you get to Capitol Boulevard, we've got a couple of police officers right there. They're waiting for Joe Biden's motorcade to come through here. Now, 540 is right up the road from this intersection, and he came in via 540. He's probably going to leave by 540. So already we're seeing the impact on some of those secondary roads. Once the president leaves, you no longer will feel his presence, but the residual effects of the president being here will be felt for a little while at the back end of the rush hour. Reporting live, I'm Steve Sprazier, CBS 17 News.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And of course, a lot of fanfare for the president's visit. Whenever a president visits, a lot of people are out and about watching.
Yeah, there were supporters. We also had protesters out here, people just standing around hoping to catch a glimpse of the president. I will admit I was unable to see him. CBS 17's Nick Sturdivant has been out talking to people. And Nick, people out here, what are they telling you about this event?
Angela, we got a chance to catch that motorcade when it came in about 4:30. And just to give you an idea of where we are right now, we're right across the street from that community center. And to my left, take a look behind me, walk with me. You see a pocket full of supporters, Joe Biden supporters who are waiting to see him leave the community center. They were here when he entered the community center, and there was a lot of excitement. We talked to a lot of those folks earlier. They're excited to have him in Raleigh months after he was elected into office. And I talked to them about the importance of him coming to Raleigh and also the importance of him coming to this community center. Listen in.
For us, it's great. I mean, I'm approaching 80, and I'm very excited.
Coming to a community center like this instead of some place that's kind of far off from all the rest of us means a whole lot. And I think the second thing that it tells you that it's not just about the election. It's about trying to do the right thing for our people.
And people have been out here, supporters, protesters, hours waiting to catch a glimpse of the president. These pocket of people, supporters, they call him coming in. They'll catch him as he leaves, and we'll be here as the president motorcade leaves the community center. Back to you.
All right, Nick Sturdivant live for us tonight. He mentioned the motorcade. He'll be here as it leaves. We haven't heard any movement quite yet behind us. This is where they'll take off, and we'll bring that to you when we can. So now we want to get your take on President Biden's visit to the Triangle.
We certainly know that the president's visit was to try to get more shots in the arms. And so we have a poll question up. When it comes to encouraging more North Carolinians to get vaccinated, do you think the president's visit is going to make a difference in that? Right now, taking a look at those numbers, you can see about 5% say yes, and the overwhelming majority of the people who have voted say they don't think so. If you'd like to weigh in, just go to the CBS 17 News app, select in the menu in the upper left-hand corner, and then scroll down to the CBS 17 Votes banner, and you can click the answer yes or no there. Of course, people on unemployment could soon stop receiving $300 a week in North Carolina after Republicans in the state Senate today and the House passed a bill that would cut off the federal money.
Yeah, it's a move that half the country has already made. CBS 17's Bridget Chapman finds out why the decision comes with controversy and what's next.
The bill now heads to Governor Cooper's desk, where he can either veto it or sign it into law. As businesses struggle to find workers to hire, state lawmakers push for solutions.
There are plenty of opportunities for folks that were once employed to re-enter the workforce.
The state Senate and House both passed a bill that would cut off federal unemployment funds of $300 a week early. Supporters of the bill say this will encourage people to get back to work.
There is such a significant premium placed on staying at home right now.
Opponents of the bill say the problem comes down to the high price of child care and low wages.
It's offensive to me to suggest that people are lazy and are relying on this $300 a week. North Carolina workers are not lazy. They need a system and a program that supports them.
Those for the bill point to the many job openings in our area with competitive salaries, saying the peak of the pandemic is over.
That time has now passed, and it's time for folks to go back to work.
Federal unemployment money is currently set to end in September, about 10 weeks from now. The governor's office sent a statement that says, in part, unemployment continues to decline, and this legislation falls short on removing barriers like affordable child care while hurting people looking for jobs and removing money from our economy.
It's a bill that is going nowhere. I expect without any hesitation Governor Cooper is going to veto this bill.
Any concern the governor's going to veto it?
That's always a possibility. I would hope that he would recognize that the pandemic is nearly over, that jobs are out there.
If the governor doesn't veto or sign it within 10 days, then it automatically goes into law. I asked his office whether he plans to veto it. They did not respond. In Raleigh, Bridget Chapman, CBS 17 News.
All right, Bridget, thank you very much. And if there was ever a time for Angela Taylor to spend the day outside reporting, today is the day. It's beautiful.
Listen, can I say I certainly got lucky out here? There's no humidity. It's a beautiful day for a presidential visit. What do you say?
Yeah, and Angela, I know a couple of years ago you were out covering, I forget who was visiting national politics, but it was not like it was today. It was a lot hotter and more humid. So hopefully you too enjoyed these 70s. You know humidity's coming back, and guess what? So is rain. I'll walk you through the day tomorrow and tell you when to expect that wet weather right after this.
We are keeping a close eye on some breaking news in Columbus County. The State Bureau of Investigations is looking into a deadly officer-involved shooting that happened at a Walmart in the city of Whiteville. We have learned that the shooting happened as members of the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force were trying to capture a fugitive wanted in a murder investigation in Pender County. We're told that the suspect pulled out a gun and then moments later, a task force member shot and killed him. Look for updates right here on CBS 17 and, of course, the CBS 17 News app. It is one of the most controversial discussions in public education right now as teachers and parents and politicians all argue over something called critical race theory. CBS 17's Imani Payne talks with Durham educators and an activist who is fighting to keep the curriculum alive.
Activist and Minister Paul Scott plans to speak about this issue out front Durham School Board meeting later tonight, asking that more cities across the Triangle, state, and country follow in Durham's footsteps. The battle over critical race theory and whether it should or shouldn't be taught in schools continues to intensify. According to Education Week, 25 states have taken steps in recent months to limit discussions on racism and sexism in the classroom or introduce bills restricting teaching critical race theory, including North Carolina through House Bill 324, which would limit how teachers address race and sex in class. The Durham School Board approving a resolution opposing that bill, saying the lessons will continue, and they hope other school districts follow suit.
It's critically important that we are able to teach the truth about what's happened in our history. We serve a student body that's majority students of color, and we want to make sure our students and their families are represented in the curriculum that we teach.
Some critics argue that the curriculum will make children of other races feel badly about their own race. But activist Minister Paul Scott says it's just the opposite. Tonight, he's speaking to the community outside the school board meeting to encourage these teachings in more places than Durham, in an effort to avoid repeating troubled parts of the country's history.
There's a lot of violence in Durham. If we teach our young people the atrocities that were done on their ancestors, they'll think twice before they do it to themselves. And we want to see that duplicated across the country.
Scott says he plans to continue speaking out and teaching about the importance of critical race theory across the Triangle. Reporting in Durham, Imani Payne, CBS 17 News.
The annual 4th of July Booze It and Lose It campaign is officially underway tonight. State troopers, police officers, and sheriff's deputies are beefing up patrols as part of Operation Firecracker to cut down on the number of impaired drivers on the road through the holiday weekend. This marks the 26th year of the program's efforts to lower traffic deaths and DWIs during the summer. I am still live out in North Raleigh, where President Biden wrapped up a speech about 15 minutes ago. We're just waiting for the motorcade to get together and head back to the airport. We'll have much more on his visit tonight at 11. But let's talk about this gorgeous weather we have today, guys.
Yeah, it's nice out there for sure.
Yeah, you know, usually we're always really thrilled to come into the cold TV studio in the summertime, but today I think most of us wanted to stay outside where Angela is. And you know, one thing looking at this picture right here, whose front yard is still green? When does that happen in late June? We've had decent amounts of rain. We haven't had scorcher of temperatures. 79 degrees as we look live down in Fayetteville. It's our third day in a row of topping out in the 70s. Here's a live shot out at the airport where obviously the president will be a little bit. I actually had an early morning drop off today yesterday, as we were pulling in, I saw the setting full moon on one side, and then when I did the drop off and went back the other way, the sun was rising. So an incredible shot. And yes, the moon is full tonight. The June full moon is called the strawberry moon because this is a lot of times around the country when strawberries are ripening. I know not here in North Carolina, but that's how it's got its name. It rises tonight a little before 9 o'clock. We should have clear skies. So if you want to check that out late tonight or very, very early tomorrow morning. That's the June full moon. And yes, it is late June, and these are the temperatures I'm standing here showing you. I still am in a little bit disbelief, and I've been talking about it for a week now. 77 out in Apex. It's 78 in Chatham County. A little bit warmer in Chapel Hill. Their sensor's usually a little bit warmer, but listen, the humidity's low. We've got upper 70s down in the Sand Hills as well. And as we go hour by hour into tonight, a couple things you'll notice. Number one, the clouds are eventually going to increase toward tomorrow morning, but it's still going to be really comfortable outside. 70s as we head into tonight, 60s overnight, and after starting this morning at 57 degrees, won't be as nice tomorrow morning, but still, I'll take it this time of year. 60 degrees is how we'll start. And rain will return tomorrow along with a little bit of humidity. So let's talk about what that looks like. Pick up Futurecast late tonight. I just want to show you. Here comes some clouds late tonight into the overnight hours. So tomorrow morning, you'll have some clouds, but the rain should stay away. We'll keep it that way through about lunchtime Friday. And then as we go into the afternoon, notice the rain pushing in from the coast. Scattered rain showers, nothing severe. It's not a washout all day. It's probably not even going to be all that heavy, but there will be some rain afternoon and into the early evening. Then we'll shut the rain off late Friday night. Saturday, we're going to do it again. Saturday morning, here we are with the clouds. Notice where the clouds are coming from. They're coming from the coast. That's where the moisture is. That's where the humidity is. So that's going to start to creep back up in the next few days. Saturday afternoon at lunchtime, as well as through the middle of the afternoon, couple of scattered showers. Again, it's not going to rain all day at your house the next 2 days, but you'll have a couple different chances of rain. And what you're feeling outside today, you're not going to feel it the next couple of days. Our dew point temperature, which was down there in the comfy zone, that's going to start to go up. The humidity levels will go up, and it's once again going to start to feel muggy as we head into the weekend. But our temperatures still stay in the low 80s tomorrow. We'll take that for the last Friday of June. 85 on Saturday with a 40% chance of rain. I like Sunday as the pick day of the weekend because that'll be the drier of the days. And then as we look at your exclusive 10-day forecast, which wraps up June and begins July next week, you can see we'll be highs back up to near 90 with a couple of isolated chances of rain here and there. And Rod, I know I brag about it, no 90s on the 10-day forecast. I've got one.
That's okay.
All right? I've got one.
That's all right, though.
This time of year, we'll take that.
Only one is good. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Alyssa?
You blew it, Wes. He's being nice. You blew it. We didn't want to see the 90. Just kidding. The Courageous Sam Mewis is Tokyo bound after making the U.S. Women's National Olympic team yesterday. What the soccer star says about this amazing opportunity. And anytime I can talk football in June, I'm going to St. Augustine Place for some 7-on-7 action. What makes this camp special? Next in sports.
This is the CBS 17 Sports Desk, brought to you by Riccobeni Associates Family Dentistry.
North Carolina Courage's Sam Mewis was an alternate on the U.S. women's national team in 2016 Olympics, but not this year. Mewis made the official Olympic roster and will represent Team USA in Tokyo next month. Her sister Christy also made the team. I caught up with Sam this morning while she was at the airport about the big news.
Making such a small roster makes it extra special. And then also I think that because I didn't make it last time, it's even more special. So I'm just like on cloud nine. I'm like really relieved, really excited, and just kind of trying to enjoy the moment a little bit.
Today in Smart, St. Augustine's University is holding their 7-on-7 high school football tournament. 6 teams went after each other today at the George Williams Athletic Complex. In the end, Hillside and Smithfield were the final 2. Smithfield struck first on their very first possession, driving the field and capping it with a touchdown strike right over the middle. But Hillside came right back to tie the game, forced a 3-and-out on the next possession, nailed down the go-ahead score. The Day 1 title goes to Hillside by 1 score.
Oh man, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. St. Aug was a great host today, and we appreciate them. And we just took home the championship here today. Coaching at Hillside is a tough deal because you got a lot of people saying that we can't do whatever. But we don't really pay that no mind. We just kind of keep progressing and progressing.
Southern Pines is officially on the clock for the 4th time. Pine Needles Golf Club is set to host the U.S. Women's Open Championship. The event is slated for June 2nd through the 5th. And if past history is any indication, the 77th playing of the U.S. Women's Open will produce a marquee champion. Anika Sorenstam, Carrie Webb, and Christy Kerr have all won at Pine Needles. But who will take the crown in 2022? Chances are it'll be a big name.
When you look at the track history that we've had here, and I think this is going to be the 16th national championship that we have had in this area in the last 26 years. It's pretty phenomenal, and it has to do with the amazing venues we get to go to, but a lot of it just has to do with the support that we get here local within the community and within the state of North Carolina.
And something to look forward to next summer. Rod?
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. And we are continuing to watch as President Biden wraps up his trip to Raleigh, North Carolina, greeting some folks there in the crowd.
Yeah, we'll have a full wrap-up of his short visit to Raleigh coming up tonight at 11.